Well, there's no question we have a housing crisis in the city. Okay, maybe Francois Legault doesn't agree. He's getting rent for $500. He's finding it somehow. But there's a housing crisis in the city. The rent is too darn high, as one New York politician once said. Many people are struggling to find a place that is affordable. One nonprofit organization is looking to change that, and they've started a rent registry. With more on this, we go to Adam Mongrain, director of the organization La Base, which is launching a citizen registry for rent. Adam, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Adam, tell me about your rent situation. What made you say, okay, we got to do something about this?
Well, I am a tenant, in fact, but it's not about me. It's what we've put together with the rental registry, which is online ever since last Wednesday, is a reaction to the housing crisis. You've put it adequately. We've been observing a housing crisis, not just in Montreal, but in other cities in Quebec too, for the past 2 or 3 years. Every moving day, 1st of July, we see more and more stories of people who could not find adequate housing. People are out in the streets. Cities have to spend a lot to put people in emergency shelters. There was an announcement made this morning by the provincial government that they're injecting $60 million more into emergency services for the coming moving day in just 2 weeks. So there needs to be something to be done about the rent gouging that's been happening throughout the province for the past few years. And the rental registry is just that. It's a place where people can declare the current rent that they're paying, so that the next tenant, the incoming tenant, can have the exact information. And it's a huge improvement on the current situation where there is no real way to make sure that the information you get on the lease is legal or the right information.
So how do you think it helps the situation? We know that there is sort of like an imbalance where, with vacancy rates and availability, the landlords have this advantage here, and they can simply say, well, take it or leave it. Good luck fighting it. If they say, well, yeah, who cares what the previous rent is? I want to jack it up. How do you think this registry will help at the end of the day?
It will make a difference, but it won't change everything. And the core of the argument is that we need to do everything within our power in the short term to improve our lives as citizens and tenants and just people living here as quickly as possible. The rental registry does two things. It collects and allows people to publish the information that they have, but it also makes people aware of their rights. And one of the reasons why there is this asymmetry right now is that not everyone has the same information. And if everyone were empowered and knowledgeable about the exact situation in terms of rent, but also in terms of rights, which are provided by the Code Civil du Québec, then the balance of power would shift because of that clarity.
We're with Adam Mongrain, director of the organization La Base, which is launching a citizen registry for rents. Now, Adam, how do you verify the info? I'm sort of worried here, with anything that relies on citizen input, I'm worried that people will have false information. What stops a landlord from being the one entering the info and putting higher prices? So how are you going to guard against manipulation and making sure the data is correct?
Right. So there are a lot of ways we work on data security. First is that we manually review every submission and the pollution that was attempted ever since we went online on Wednesday. And for context, we've got upwards of 1,500 new inscriptions on the rental since Wednesday 5 a.m. So we go through all of that, and people who are jokesters or ill-intended are extremely easy to spot because they enter crazy information.
Gotcha.
So it's rent at $2 or $8,000. So these are cults. Otherwise, what we're doing is we're allowing people to get in touch with each other without our input, because it's not a people registry, it's a rental registry, and we're just asking people to divulge information as they would verbally so that people would know about this. Now, if someone needs to know if that information is right, they would need to get in touch with the person that provided that information, and that's what the website allows, so that the person that gives that information can make themselves available to verify it. Without their input, it's all anonymous. And
Adam,
finally,
yeah. No, finish. Give us your last thought. What's
Yeah,
that?
and finally, if someone picks up the information on the registry, that is not the one they received previously. So now there's two sources of information. That's not the end of the process. It's the beginning of the process. So that person is now empowered to ask more questions and ask for proof that the previous information that they got was the right one. So we're just making sure that people have clarity, have the information, and know about their rights and privileges as tenants in Quebec.
Adam, what is the website address? Where do I go?
It's called Registre des loyers with an S at the end, .Quebec. Quebec, full word.
Des loyers. Sorry, dot what? What's after the dot?
Quebec. So
Quebec, okay.
Quebec.
Great. Sorry, I was typing and not listening. Okay, so I've loaded it up at Registre des loyers .Quebec. I'm seeing it right now. Looks quite nice actually. Quite a lovely website here. Now, Adam, I guess the question I have for you is, isn't the real solution, and I know some people are advocating for this because they think you're onto something here, right? Letting tenants know what the previous rents are won't allow some of the outrageous hikes, but shouldn't a registry like this be mandatory? Shouldn't the government shouldn't it be the government be doing this with a mandatory registry to truly be able to give tenants and prospective tenants all the data they need?
The government could go much further than we could, mostly because they could make things mandatory. Our position is actually that we're online right now, and we've got thousands of data points, and people can contribute and get more information right away before July 1st, 2021. So I think that a lot of people feel that they're not victims, but they're kind of passive in front of the housing crisis. And now we have something that people can do right now to make a difference and stop future rent gouging. So it's not a matter of either us or the government. I feel like everyone that wants to make a difference should make a difference, and we welcome every initiative that would make situations better.
Well, I got to tell you, Adam. So I'm just looking at the website right now, and once you go to Registre des loyers, plural for des loyers .Quebec. Once you go to the website, you can click on or tap on, if you're on mobile, the hamburger menu, the three lines, and you can switch over to English. So your site is completely bilingual. By the way, I know our listeners really appreciate that. And I've just been clicking on Explore the Map, and I've been taking my finger and dancing through the city and clicking on. I'm amazed. I really am amazed with the number of blue dots that are already on the site. I'm on Montcalm as a rent I'm looking at, $910 for a 4.5. Are you shocked by just how many inputs you've already received?
I am a bit overwhelmed, but it's a good feeling, and I think it speaks to the point that people are ready for solutions. I am, as I said, a tenant, and we don't see the full scope of the housing crisis, I believe, with the numbers that we have on hand from government sources. And it's not that the government doesn't care, it's just that it's extremely hard to get that information because the registry did not exist previously. So we don't have every bit of information that would allow us to see just how hard it is for some people to find housing that fits their needs. And the people that are adequately housed right now are lucky, but they're getting luckier because the situation is getting more and more dire. And I feel that the answer we've gotten from people all throughout the province is that people are ready to do their part and prevent future rent gouging.
Adam, thank you for coming on the show. I'm scrolling through my old stomping grounds in NDG and seeing all the rents, some ones that are quite low, in fact. Thanks for coming on, Adam. I hope everyone partakes.
Thank you for having me.
That's Adam Mongrain. The website is Registre des loyers, plural, .Quebec, if you want to input your rent and see what other people were paying at various addresses.